I almost started that one with a spit take.
Right. 10-second review. Ready, set, go.
Wow, Michael in the theaters, absolutely go see it. Sound is incredible, and the acting was amazing.
Movie was awesome. I wish it would have gone into a little deeper part, like later on in his life. It cut off at a certain point, and I wish I had more bass in the theater.
The grumblies weren't enough for you?
You, child, you want to say yours? What do you think? In 10 seconds.
It was good. Yeah, it was pretty cool of his acting. I didn't know he could do that good for his business like this. I didn't know he could sing like the real Michael, but he did amazing.
Good job. Ooh, Sal's got lists for days. Okay. So, what life lessons does this story illustrate? Oh, you first.
Dang, that's a hard one to start on. That I think when you know you're pretty sure what you want to do in life, I think it's good to follow it. Don't let people kind of get in your way. And if you don't, maybe let people guide you. But in this, Michael seemed to know exactly what he wanted and would pretty much do anything to, you're in my way, I'm going to get you out of my way.
I almost feel like what life lesson does this story illustrate? It illustrates that traumas do shape who you are and who you become later on in life. Even if you think that you have complete charge of your life, there are so many different things that have shaped you into the person you are. And I think that Michael actually did a really good job of being opposite of his father, who a lot of people, I've been seeing a lot of different interviews, and they praise Joseph Jackson, which is Michael Jackson's father, for being so strict on his boys, because they're like, if he wasn't that strict, they would never have become famous, right? And I get that, I see that, but at the same time, I think that there's a nurturing way to go about it, and I think that Michael ended up nurturing his singers, his dancers, his bandmates into good, outstanding performers without the abuse.
I agree. It is kind of how you mentioned about traumas, that we know how awkward Michael can be, especially to more of the layman. He had some quirks, and you kind of see where these quirks came from, and those are kind of the things that we never know what people have experienced before that kind of lead to those quirks and whatnot.
It really makes me think, because there was a lot of shade thrown to Michael after he passed away. I've seen the documentaries and I believed it. I don't want to believe it. I don't know what is true, what is not true, what his relationships really were like, how much he had to pay for. But like in the movie, it does describe how he shaped his thought processes. And it gives you a little bit of insight into who the person may have been.
Right. How he sees other humans and how kind of they treated him also, especially from being in the spotlight at such an early age.
Right. And he never had the ability to have friends when he was little. It was always work for him. Are you ready for the next question?
Yes.
What was the best/worst decision made?
Best was probably firing the dad, and worst was probably still after firing him, you still kind of agreed to play along in his game.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the acting in this movie was so strong that I was at the edge of my seat anytime he was gonna be in opposition of his father. I was worried, I was nervous. I think I was like holding on to Sal and Xavier. Just like, oh God, what's gonna happen? Yeah, it freaked me out. The best decision, again, honestly, I feel like the best decisions were when Michael finally put his foot down, and he had to do it a couple of times.
Yeah.
The worst decision was probably letting his parents live with them Like he paid for all of it. He did all of it. It was all Michael's money, and yet he still had his parents with him all the time. And the reason why I think that it was a bad decision or a poor decision is because the father still had or still thought that he had control over him. He was never able to withdraw the control. And I think that that's how come it was an important move for him to like not have his father around, but unfortunately he did.
Right. He mentioned after he fired him that he has a lot to learn from family still, or has a lot to learn about family.
Well, didn't he, I don't know if I'm using the right word, but didn't he gaslight him into telling him like nobody will understand you like we do? Isn't that gaslighting?
Yes.
I might be wrong with my definition, but he essentially brainwashes this child or Michael from the very beginning. He beats it into him literally, that he'll never be understood.
Right.
And that he's always going to be different.
And I do think that's a common thing in families, to kind of tell you that, yeah, almost that exact same thing, that only we understand you, only we've gone through the same thing. So it's like that shared experience, that shared trauma, that kind of tries to create that bond. But to those of you, if you think that that's true, know that there are others that can understand your experiences, and
right.
It doesn't have to be a toxic relationship like that to be entitled to kind of keep that control over you. I think a lot, at least in the old school family mentality, that's always held over your head, that I'm so and so, I'm the father, I'm the mother, I'm your whatever, I'm your caretaker, you owe me this. And I don't feel that way. We've always talked about that type of stuff, and I think respect is respect. It's got to go both ways. It can't just be, and it's
because of age.
Yeah, and it's an entitlement to think that you're just gonna get it just because of the title. Like you don't. You gotta earn it still, also.
Yeah. For the throaty therapist, I am a speech language pathologist, and I do have a history in music and in acting. So I'm going to read this question. And so what communication failure caused the biggest problem? Well, it was the communication between an abused child and his abusive father, right? So it's not that they had anything clinically wrong from a speech perspective, but it's definitely a referral. I would refer out to some family counseling for them. What I want to talk about as a speech pathologist is the incredible versatility of Michael's voice and the actor who played him. So Michael Jackson does what a lot of other performers strive to do, and that is modify his voice to elicit the utmost emotion from a listener, right? He put his heart on his sleeves, and you can definitely hear it in his voice, in the way he sings, the way he dances. All of it is emoted very nicely. Now, Jafar Jackson, who is playing Michael, is his nephew. So this kid already is going to be blessed with their family genes of the ability to sing and dance. He did an incredible job. I was looking mostly to see if it was him singing. Am I absolutely 100% sure that he was singing? No, I'm not. However, in some scenes, I was watching his larynx, and his larynx is extremely high, which is where you would need to be able to sing if you were Michael Jackson. Michael's voice was very high. He was up in the rafters for any kind of male performer.
What is rafters? Or what is
a rafter is like, so you know when there's a stage area, how you have like the pit, and then you have the orchestra, and then above that you have a second level, like a mezzanine, and like the balcony levels. So the balconies are the rafters. So it's up at the very top of any kind of building. So when I say, or building or structure.
Any, or like specifically like stage type, like performance?
No. Any kind of building. And so when I'm saying up in the rafters, I mean the larynx is at the very tippity top of where you can possibly go. That's where Michael would sing. And so when looking at Jafar's larynx and like his whole structure, he's like all the way up there. I don't think his larynx could go any higher than what it was. And so that's what I was looking at to see if it was real. So even if it wasn't real, he had it in the exact place that it needed to have been. And that kind of makes me want to analyze some of Michael's stuff later on my own channel. Follow at the Throaty Therapist. Okay.
You're gonna use any of the maybe one or the Broadway ones? I don't know if they apply to this one because they're kind of music based or.
Oh, okay. So for the other questions is what stood out about the vocal performances? I think I just discussed that with the vocal performances. The control that Michael Jackson had over his voice was incredible. He had been doing it for so long that the control of his voice it's goals for a lot. It should be should be goals for almost any musical performer to have that amount of control. It was always effortless. It was not strained. It was amazing technique. I mean, this guy was singing and dancing the entire time from when he started. And then did the musical style help or distract from the story? Oh, what do you think about that in this movie?
I love it. I like from a lot of the musical movies or like when they're like biopics of a musician, I like for them to show more music, and I'm always impressed as to how they end up, like with Jersey Boys, how they end up weaving the story of like the songs into the story. Like some of them I don't even know if that's how it actually, if the song came about from that story, but I love the way they weave it in. And this one didn't do so much of that, like exactly showing how the songs came about or anything, but they do show a lot of performance, which I liked. I wanted to hear the music.
Yeah, but don't you think that as a fan of Michael Jackson and knowing his music, you can see like the songs that were okay, so like he's sitting in the hospital with his mom, right? And you already know what song is going to be elicited, right? I'll let you all decide that for yourselves though. And then they end up tying in a little bit of it. It was beautifully done. Let's keep on going. Thoughts from X. What was your favorite part?
Hey, child, what was your favorite?
Else?
Yeah, sure, go for it. What was your favorite part?
What was your favorite part here?
That when when Michael he got his larynx correct, and when he got bigger and bigger, getting his voice better and better, being Michael to get his voice better than he was little. So I liked how he got his voice like more like Michael's voice.
Okay.
Cool.
And what would you do differently in this movie?
What do you mean?
What would you like to have been different?
Is there like a part maybe you didn't like that you would change? Like, oh, I would change this part to do this instead, or something like that.
I would change that because the dad was being kind of making like fun of the son, and I didn't really like how people make fun of people, so I would not want that part. So I wouldn't want that the father didn't be like making fun of Michael.
Cool. Do I make fun of you? Huh?
No.
Okay. Cool. All right. What else?
What relationship drove the story?
Oh, definitely the Michael's and the father. Yeah, it's just pure tension the whole time. He thinks he's responsible, and I get that point. Like maybe if he hadn't pushed him, who knows if Michael would have been what he is now.
Or was?
Yeah, but there has to come a point too where you know your place as to how much you pushed it and how much like has flown off on its own already. Like it's like a
Correct.
paper airplane. You throw it. A paper airplane can't fly on its own, so you throw it, and then the rest is kind of how much it can fly or how much.
Right. I was thinking about that in parenthood is you are responsible up until a certain point, but once that child is an adult, it's all them. It's trusting your raising of them to be the person that they are going to be. I mean, you can always help along the way and stuff, but for him to control Michael till way adulthood, and there's this one scene where he's like, you think that you can do this all on your own? Like you're it's a joke. Like you can't do anything. Treating him like a child when Michael was the one responsible for. Oh, they totally thought that this was their car. That's hilarious.
Did they really?
Yeah. How so? I don't know.
No, maybe.
Oh,
maybe
they
thought
lost.
they thought they were on the other.
Sorry.
Huh.
I got distracted with that because it looked like it was coming right to us. Yeah, so allowing your child to spread their wings and fly rather than holding them down and having them provide for you for the rest of your life. It's pitiful.
Right.
What a shame.
And a part on the communication one is that, well, he got upset. The dad got upset because he fired him, not face to face. He ended up getting like a letter. And then the last tour he did with the Jacksons, he essentially told the crowd first that this was the last time, and the dad was already planning like another tour and a world tour and blah blah blah. And so this was kind of shocking to him. And once he gets off stage, he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "What did you say out there?" Blah blah blah. And to me, he's like, he got upset because he didn't do it face to face. But to me was the fact that like, I think he was trying to avoid like the manipulation of it. Like he knows how he can be, and I have to do this any other way because if I say it in person,
Right.
he's gonna get manipulated right back into doing it. And anything he says, any combination of words he says, he's not gonna take as this is what I need to do.
I mean, this man was abusive on all ends.
Emotionally,
Physically, verbally, you name it. He was, what a terrible human being. I mean, maybe come at us, I guess, or come at me. Maybe he had some good stuff, but I saw none of that. What a shameful way to be.
Yeah, and the movie needs a villain also, so.
I think Michael Jackson had a big enough villain in that. And for his, I mean, this was produced by these sons, by Michael's brothers. It was acted by his family members. So for them to say, you know what, this is accurate, go ahead with it.
Yeah,
that's disgusting.
That's kind of true.
I mean, Tito and Jafar, right, were in the credits, and
Yeah, I think
Latoya,
so. Yeah.
they were all in the credits. That's 3 out of the 6. I think they had 6 kids. I don't know where Janet was in this.
Is he alive still or no?
Who? Jermaine?
Joseph Jackson, the
No,
father.
he died.
Okay.
He did die. I'm pretty sure he died. God, if he's not dead,
Yeah, that was
take
The
the
part,
son of a biscuit.
the part I didn't like was just it didn't go far enough into his story as far like timeline wise. It only went up to bad. And so I was like, no, I wanted to see the other stuff because
I know.
he did start. You can kind of tell in his music too that after, like in the '90s, I forget what album it is, but you can see like "Heal the World" and stuff, like all those like more positive affirmation, positive message songs started coming out, and we didn't get to hear any of that. So it was only up to bad, but you could see up to that point why he wanted to change, and this is the role he wants to take on from that point.
It was so interesting too. I wish that I knew more about Michael Jackson, not just as the performer, but as the human being, right? Like if they have his journals or things like that, to see why he created Neverland. I mean, it's very obvious in the movie. You're going to see that. But more. I wanted more, definitely. But I think they didn't want to have to change color, and I think
Yeah.
it would have probably been a difficult transition. So that's where they had to stop it.
Yeah.
But you can see more of the physicality of the performer change as you age him. It was solid. I would definitely want to see it in the theater again because of the sound. The sound was really cool.
Yeah. But more bass.
But more bass. It's all about the bass. Okay. Where does this situation happen in real life? Oh man.
Well, I do think there are abusive parent to offspring relationships and we get brainwashed into thinking this is family and this is what you have to put up with. I took care of you, and so you kind of have to put up with. And I completely disagree. You don't, and you may have to put up with it for a long time, but you don't have to put up with it forever.
Yeah. I unfortunately do think that it happens very often. And I hope that whoever is struggling with mental and physical abuse, that they are able to find somebody that can help them out of that relationship, because things do not have to be like that. Like 100%, you do not have to be in that relationship, no matter who it is, a spouse, a partner, a parent, any kind of family member. You don't need to be there.
Right. On a side note, I think sometimes I've been getting content on our feed from our generation, how there's a lot of no contact with parents or family and stuff. And I would like to clarify, like, what is actually, well, whatever it is, like, make sure it is actually abuse. A lot of times we confuse something we don't like with abuse, and so just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's abuse. So maybe research a little bit, see what abuse actually constitutes as.
But talk to somebody like a behavioral therapist,
right, somebody,
so they can help you.
Right, somebody with the knowledge to adequately guide you.
Absolutely, 100% on that one. Okay, notes for X moments.
Uh-huh.
If we had to teach our son one lesson from this, what would it be?
Kind of the same. That's why I asked him if I was a jerk right now too.
Said make fun of him.
Oh, that's right.
Are you?
If that were the case, then I'd say he's all within his rights to to cut ties, and I would hope that he could come and tell us in person without having to get a letter in the mail as to whatever he's gonna do.
You're cut off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the positive on that, because I mean, Michael's mom was very supportive throughout this movie, but she didn't stand up for him when she was very little. But he understood that she couldn't stand up for him, because then she was gonna get beat also. I would say from this entire thing, what I would want him to learn is spread your wings, baby. If you feel that you have something in your control and you know that talent is there, and just like Michael, he said that he needed to let his light shine, and he did. He had that power, he had that control. And when you feel that confident in something, go for it. Because what do they say? Like, shoot for the... I think that's totally backwards now.
No,
because they say, like, shoot for the moon and you'll land in the stars or something like that. But now we know that the stars are way farther.
So maybe it is back. I forget what the phrase is.
Shoot for the stars.
Maybe it is right, but we're just remembering it wrong.
I'm totally, totally. But go as far as you can. And if there's ever failure, we're here to catch you. We will always be here.
Yeah. All right. That it?
I think. I don't know. Guys, go check this movie out. It's powerful. A little bit anxiety inducing.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah. It was fun. The music was fun still.
And I really wonder, I don't know if he was actually singing it, but good dang, even the dancing, so good. I mean, we grew up with Michael Jackson, so I remember seeing the dances. I remember seeing some of the performances live, like on TV.
Yeah. question I will ask you guys, see if we always for concerts we used to ask who would you pay $500 for to go to a concert, and now I think we've paid more than that for a concert, and so $500 now seems like oof.
So what is the most you would pay to see who?
Yeah, well, in this case, since it's a Michael movie, how much would you have paid to see Michael Jackson, even if it was now? I really wanted to go see him for that, after This Is It or whatever, for that whatever tour he was prepping for at that time. That's when I first got my like career job. I was like, cool, I'm gonna have money, maybe I can go travel to see him, and then he died that summer. So I never got to see him.
Do you think, can we rewind just a tiny bit on this? Do you think that all of his pain medication use stemmed from that one tour where he got
I don't know.
messed up? Because it's hard when you're on that heavy of medications. It seemed like he did better after that.
Yeah,
Like, did he really, or did he become dependent on some of those medications?
Maybe, but also as you're aging, and I'm sure as hard as he was on himself.
Holy cow, there's a guy sitting right here.
Yeah, as hard as he was on himself to push himself as to being the greatest he can be, and aging at the same time, I'm sure he was trying to do the same things that he was when he was younger, and like, bro, you probably can't do that anymore, so maybe tone it back, and so maybe that caused more pain. And
God, yeah, I don't know. I was wondering if you knew the answer to that. Well, that is all, folks.
Until next time.
Yeah, there's some good movies coming out. Woo-hoo.
Yeah. Check out our Faces of Death one, and there was a ride review for 6 also for Broadway shows.
Yes.
So, all right.
Bye.
Bye.